Let's talk about Michelle from the Apple TV series Smoke. So, Michelle is a detective in the Metro Robbery Division, and she's a former Marine. She ends up transferring to help the lead arsonist investigator try to solve the fires that have been starting around the town. So, one thing when Michelle first comes on screen, she's very confident. She has a very open posture. What's coming to mind now is when she's talking to David in his office and she kind of has her arm back on the seat and her legs open. And, that's a very dominant position. But she also kind of downplays what she knows about the fires, which I thought was interesting. It was very like low key, but she's pretty manipulative from the beginning, right? And so when we see her, we think, oh, she may have some issues. I think when we see that the other officer who she was having a relationship or an affair with say that he left his family, and then she gets mad, and I think we see these kind of cracks in her, and we understand her childhood and how her mom set fire to their home. But she has taken, all of those kind of issues, and she doesn't spiral or anything. It's like she has used her survival and turned it into dominance. And you can tell that she does want connection, but only if it doesn't threaten her control, like what she has control over. So I would classify Michelle's attachment style as fearful avoidant, also known as disorganized, with control-based adaptions, right? So, and this mainly comes from when she was a child. Like I said, her mom did try to burn their home down, and Michelle was inside. And so that is not only an extreme trauma, but it's an attachment rupture. And it's very clear that she kind of uses her job, being the cop, the authority, as her armor. It's very clear that she doesn't chase, she shuts down emotionally, right? And she does not allow herself to be vulnerable. And when I do go back to seeing, Michelle doesn't have, I guess, many friends. And also, when we go back to the one relationship she did have with the cop, once he left his family, I think she kind of felt like she was losing control of the situation. She knew that he was someone she couldn't have, so she could have that fantasy and talk to him as if, we're gonna be together one day, but she didn't actually want that to happen. And it's kind of hard to determine what her core fear is. But in to me, it seems like it's the loss of autonomy. You know, she isn't emotionally absent at all. Um, but she does lead with logic. She's very controlled, and highly vigilant. And so, in the scene where, her and the officer that she's having an affair with gets into a fight, and she hits him in the neck, and I guess it caused, I'm not really sure, I'm not a doctor or anything, so I don't know, but he couldn't breathe, and he was trying to get her to help him, and she just stood there. And on first watch, it did seem like she kind of froze, but then when I watched it again, I think she was making a decision. She was going to eliminate the variable that had gotten close enough to her, who seemed like he just wouldn't let her go. He wanted to love her, and that was a threat. It seemed like her state of mind is calm, right? She's alert, calculated, purposeful. Her nervous system seems to be organized and controlled, but not necessarily connected. It's clear that she is operating from her survival brain, but she has full executive functioning. Um, we later find out that Michelle's mom is in jail, and there's a possibility of her getting out, and Michelle is completely against it. And it appears that she has learned that, caregivers can be dangerous. Institutions are safer because she had gone into the military and now the police force. So she has been in institutions. Um, so her containment logic is the same logic that doesn't want her mom to be released from jail. She let a man die. She was able to frame David. She rationalizes violence and enjoys winning the final confrontation. Like I said, she's very focused, competent, and she can perform in a crisis. I think her tools to soothe herself are power, certainty, and winning. So when we get to the final episode and we see the battle scene between her and David when she flies out of the car, which is completely insane, but on her face, while she's putting her hair in a ponytail, she is on a power trip. She's on a high. It's like she's turned into a completely different person and she loved the dynamics and she knew she was going to win. And so when she stands over him and puts the gun in his mouth, she's, like I said, just on a complete high. So when we kind of look at her behaviors, trauma explains the formation, but not the actual behavior. Power reveals the character, and we see how she can kind of be, low key a little, and then at the end, when she's in that position of power over David, we see her real self, what she's feeling, and how much she's enjoying it. I think that Michelle is a very interesting character. I would love to see her grow or not grow, so kind of see how the writers take it if they do have another season. If not, I'm okay with how it ended as well. I think that we got to see two versions of the same coin, between her and David. Well, that is all I have today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for listening.